Hi, I'm Elisa from Gibsons, BC, and my Philadelphia cream cheese main course recipe is chicken involtini, which means little rolls. So this is little rolls of chicken stuffed with Philadelphia cream cheese and spinach, and this is how I do it. Hi, I'm Elisa, and my Philly cream cheese main course is chicken involtini. Involtini means little rolls, so these are little rolls of chicken filled with Philadelphia cream cheese and spinach. So to begin, I'm just going to make our filling. In here I've got 2 bricks of Philadelphia cream cheese, or that would be 2 cups, 500 grams of cream cheese, and it's of course softened room temperature. And to that I'm going to add some chopped cooked spinach. This is a 300 gram package of frozen spinach, and I've just really defrosted it and squeezed out all of the liquid so that it's quite dry. I'm just going to mix that in with my Philly cream cheese. I'm going to add a good half a cup, if not a bit more, of grated mozzarella, and get it all in there, and a good grinding of fresh black pepper. Now I'm not going to add salt to this right now because the next part of our recipe has prosciutto in it, which is a nice and salty ingredient. So I'm just going to mix all this together, and then in a moment we will stuff the chicken with it. So now I'm going to fill my chicken and create the little involtini or rolls. I've got some chicken breasts here that I have sliced the long way in half and then pounded it out with my trusty meat pounder and some saran wrap on top over the cutting board, which gives you a nice opportunity to pound out the chicken breast fillets very thinly. And the first thing I'm going to do is top each one with a piece of nice salty prosciutto crudo. So that goes right on top of the chicken, and then here I've got this great mixture of Philadelphia cream cheese and a little mozzarella and lots of spinach and a tiny bit of black pepper, and I'm just going to put a nice spoonful of that on top of the chicken and prosciutto. I'm going to kind of spread it out. I like to be a messy cook, but you could do this much more neatly with a knife and a spoon. And then I'm just going to roll it. So we create a nice big thick roll, lots of good filling in there. Tuck the edges in if you can, but I find that this particular filling doesn't leak out too much in the cooking, so you don't need to be too precise with it. And we've got these nice rolls. I'm going to make a whole bunch of them, of course, and then we're going to bread them and pop them in the oven. Okay, so I finished making the rolls and I've started breading them, and I'll just show you what I do. Just take one of these nice rolls of chicken filled with prosciutto and cream cheese. Just going to pop it into some beaten egg. I've got 2 eggs in here, which seem to nicely do 8 involtini. And then into Italian breadcrumbs. Into these breadcrumbs I've mixed some Parmesan cheese and some parsley. And I like to make sure you do the edges too of the rolls, so they've got a little bit of breading all the way around. Pop them into a greased baking dish, and then we're going to bake these in the oven. And partway through cooking we're going to pop them out again, dress them with some sauce and some cheese, and then finish them off in the oven. So the first part is, there we go. We've got all of our nice little involtini ready to go. I've already put oil in the pan. Just going to drizzle the tiniest bit of canola oil or olive oil on top, just to help them brown up really nicely, since we're not going to brown them in a frying pan, just right in the oven. And then these are going to go into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Great, so our involtini have baked in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, and they're nice and golden and cooked through. And now we're just going to top them with some tomato sauce. This is just a really simple tomato sauce I've made with some onions and garlic and some crushed tomatoes. And so I'm just going to spoon a little bit of sauce over each of these nice involtini. And you can be as generous as you'd like with the sauce. It just depends how much you like to have on there. And I think this guy over here needs a little bit more. And then we're going to top each one with some nice grated mozzarella cheese right on top. And then these are going to go back in the oven. So we'll pop these back in the oven just another 10 minutes or so to melt the cheese. Great, so our involtini are out of the oven now. Our little rolls of chicken filled with Philadelphia cream cheese and spinach are all the way cooked through, and the sauce on top is heated, and the cheese is melted. So I'm just going to pick one here to serve up. Lovely, and look, all that cheese in the middle is all creamy and melty and wonderful, but it hasn't oozed out. It's still inside there, which is just perfect. The other thing that's great about this recipe is you don't actually need to use toothpicks. The rolls stay together really nicely. So I'm just going to cut it in half so we can see. Well, probably not the sharpest knife I have, but there we go. So we can see. Beautiful. Creamy, delicious goodness with the chicken and prosciutto and the cream cheese and spinach. And there we go. Philadelphia cream cheese chicken involtini.